Hi guys, today we are going to discuss a lead code problem which is a reorder list, and there are two examples given. One is a linked list with 4 elements and another one is linked list with 5 elements. So the output that expects is the 4 comes in between 1 and 2 and 3 will come next to 2, and here 5 will comes between 1 and 2 and 4 will comes between 2 and 3. So it's like the first 3 elements in incremented positions and the last 2 elements in a decrement positions. Like the 5 is the nth element that comes to next to the first element, and the 4 is the n-1th element and that comes next to the second element, like so. So the approach which I am going to use is I'm going to split that linked list into 2. So for that I want to find the middle one, and then I'm going to reverse the second part, and then I'm going to merge the first list. I'm going to combine the first list with the second list. So in that way I can get into the solutions. So let's jump into the code. So I'm going to construct a pointer here. So the first dot next and fast dot next. So it's like the slow pointer will increase by 1 and the fast pointer will increase by 2. So now we have the middle node in this slow, and I want to reverse the remaining part of the middle node. That means in this case now the slow value will be here and the remaining part of the linked list is 4 and 5. So I want to reverse the 4 and 5. So let's reverse the second half. So to reverse a linked list, I'm going to consider 2 positions, previous and the current position. Previous position at the beginning it will be none, and the current value will be slotted next. So first I'm going to when I reverse the 4 and 5, the next of 4 will be none and the next of 5 will be 4. So first I'm going to store the next of the current value, which is 4, into a temporary variable, and then current dot next will be none, so which is our previous value, and the previous value will be the current value, which will be 4 in our case, and current value will be temporary value. Temporary value is 5. So that's how the linked list reverse works. And the next part of the problem is, now I have 2 lists. One is the head, 2 heads here, one is here and the other one is previous. At this point the previous have the head of the next linked list, so I want to combine these 2 lists, but here the head have the old list, but I only want the first part of the linked list. So to remove the second part I need to apply this. So next we can combine first and second half. So for that one I need 2 pointer, and the head 2 will be previous. That's the head of our second part. And the head 1, we are going to add 5 to the next of the head 1. So first I'm going to store the next one of 1 to a temporary variable, and head 1 dot next will be 5, that is our head 2, and head 1 will be, and the next head 1 will be the second position. So right now here the head 1 dot next is since head 2, so the head 1 will be head 2, and the head 2 will be the temporary value because the head 1 dot next was 2, but since we override that connection with 5, our head 2 will be 2 because we need it will be 2. So the 2 is stored here, and now so when this loop repeats it will be ordered like this. So let's test this code. Okay, perfect. So let's discuss more in detail. So these are some of the test cases which I have run before. So let's consider this example 1 2 3 4 5, and our first case is find the middle element. So in this case we have a while loop and 2 variables here. I'm going to copy it here, slow value will be head, and which is 1, and first value will be head, and which is also 1 at the beginning. And when this loop executes, slow value will be slow dot next, which will be 2, and fast will be fast dot next, no, next dot next. So the fast value beginning is 1, next dot next is 3, so it's here. And then when the next loop comes, it checks fast dot next exists, yes it is 4, and fast dot next exists, yes it is 5. So the second iteration comes, the slow value will be 2 dot next, which is 3, and the fast value will be 3 dot next, which is 5. And the third iteration comes, fast dot next not exist, and so the loop exists. So now the slow value is 3. So this is the end of the first part of our single list, and whatever remaining comes, that needs to be considered as the second part. So the next step is reverse the second half. So for that one we have 2 value, previous is none at the beginning, and current value will be slow dot next. The slow value is 3, so the slow dot next is it will be 4 at the beginning. And cursor, so here the temporary value will be cursor dot next, which will be 5 at the beginning, and then cursor dot next will be previous value, which is none, and previous value will be cursor, the cursor is 4, and the cursor value will be TMP, that is 5. So now we had at the beginning we had 4 and 5. But after this operation comes, the current dot the previous value will be 4 and the current value will be 5, and the current value, the next iteration comes here, and the temporary value will be current dot next. The current dot next is none, so 5 stays here, and the next iteration it will be none, and the current dot next value will be previous. Here in the next second iteration the previous value will be 4 and the current value will be 5. When the next iteration comes, current dot next, which is previous, and it is 4, so next to 5 4 comes, and the previous value will be current value is 5, and the current value will be temporary is none. So at the end of this, and since the current value is none, the iteration ends here, and when it comes here we have 5 and 4, and previous value is 5, so previous value is the head of this linked list. And here the next option is we need to combine the first half and second half. The first half considers the entire list 1 to 5, but since we want to combine the first half and second half, here we consider the 3 as the middle, and the next of this 3 needs to be considered as none. Then only we can get the first half of this linked list. So that's why we have this line here, slow dot next will be none. So in that case we have head 1 will be 1, 2, 3, and head 2 will be 5, 4. So he becomes here, and the head 1 value will be 1 and head 2 value will be 5, since it points to the previous, and here in our last case the previous value is 5, so head 2 will be 5, and we're going to iterate again with head 2, and temporary value will be head 1 dot next, which is 2, because we are going to insert the 5 in between 1 and 2. So first we are going to say 1 is going to stay here, and we are going to keep the relation of current dot next to temporary variable. So head 1 dot next, this value is going to be 2, and head 1 dot next value will be head 2. Head 2 is 5, and head 1 will be equals head 2. The head 2 value is 5, and the head 2 value will be equals TMP, the temporary values 2. So what happens after this first iteration is, since we had two different lists, after the first one we are going to insert the 5. Since the 5 is connected with 4, it will be like this: 1, 5 and 4, and we lost the connection between 1 and 2, so the 2 and 3 is going to stay separate. So the next iteration comes, the head 2 at the end of the first iteration, head 1 will be 5 and head 2 will be 2. So the head 2 exists here, and so TMP is head2 dot next, sorry, head1 dot next. The head1 is 5 and the head1 dot next is 4. So this value will be 4 and the head1 dot next, the 4 we are stored into TMP, and the head1 dot next will be head2. The head2 is 2, so the 5 is going to connect with 2. And head1 value will be head2. Head2 is 2, and since 2 and 3 is connected, it's going to be like this, and the connection between 5 and 4 is going to lost. Here head1 value will be head2, which is 2. Head2 value will be TMP, which is 4. So at the end of second iteration, head1 is going to be 2, the head will be here, and the head2 value will be 4, since we lost the connection between 5 and 4, because after the second iteration we added 2 in between 5 and 4. Since the 2 is connected with 3, the first list will be here 1 5 2 3, and the 4 is going to stay separate. And the third iteration comes, before the third iteration the head1 value is 2 and head2 value is 4. So first we are going to store the head1 dot next, which is 2. 2 dot next is 3. TMP will be 3 here, and head1 dot next will be head2, and head1 is 2. Head1 is 2, and head1 dot next is head2. Head2 is 4. So 2 is going to be connected with 4, and 3 is going to stay separate, and the head1 value is head2. Head2 is 4, and yeah, here as well it will be 4, and the head2 value will be 3. So after the third iteration, the head1 is 4 and the head2 will be 3. This is head1 and this is head2. And the fourth iteration comes, we store the TMP head1 dot next. Head1 is 4, head1 dot next is none, and head1 dot next will be head2. Head2 is 3, so 4 3 are going to be connected together, and oh sorry, yeah, 4 and 3 is going to be connected together, and head1 will be head2, which is 3, and head2 will be TMP, which is none. So now we have a head1 here, and this head1 is right now here at 3 position, but this head1 actually points to this head, the input head. If we call the head, it still refers to this first element. So that's why in this question we do not need to return anything, modify head in place instead. So right now the head is here at the first element, and the head1 is here, and the head2 is none. So if we points to head, it will be connected like this: 1 5 2 4 and 3. So hence we solve the problem.